The top stories tonight in Y News. Metro Manila mayors successfully implement COVID-19 Alert Level 4 on day 1. The government meanwhile clarifies that granular lockdowns can be implemented without prior notice from the local government unit.
The Philippine Coast Guard will further intensify patrol operations amid the presence of Chinese fishing vessels in the West Philippine Sea.
The Department of Health recommends virtual or SMS voting for COVID-19 positive individuals in the 2022 polls.
Senator Richard Gordon calls President Rodrigo Duterte a cheap politician for allegedly lawyering for cabinet members and personalities.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo and 6 other officials are found guilty of environmental negligence.
Breakthrough and Milestones Productions International, or BMPI, launches its own music publishing house, the KDR Music House, and releases its debut album, Loving You.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. We are now reporting live from Quezon City. Today is Friday, September 17, 2021. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the country and in other parts of the world. I'm Herlene Delgado.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts in our website, untvweb.com. I'm Angelo Castro III.
First in the news, Metro Manila mayors successfully implemented the first day of the Alert Level 4 system in the National Capital Region. Meanwhile, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority declared granular lockdowns will be implemented without prior notice. Janice and Henta will tell us why.
Majority of the establishments and businesses allowed to operate under the new alert system in Metro Manila followed the guidelines. And to make sure this continues, Interior and Local Government Secretary Eduardo Año ordered the local government units to activate their COVID-19 marshals. The ILG meanwhile clarifies that it is up to the LGUs to decide on notifying the residents before the implementation of the lockdown.
Kung minsan po ang ginagawa ng mga LGUs para hindi umalis, no, at lumipat ng ibang bahay, yung mga ila-lockdown, ay kaagad-agad nilang nina-lockdown yung lugar. But as I said, Yusek Rocky, we will leave it now to the discretion of the local government unit kung sila ba ay biglang magla-lockdown lamang or magbibigay sila ng advance warning dun sa mga lugar na to.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health insists that there's a basis for the implementation of COVID-19 alert levels with granular lockdowns.
Meron ho kaming batayan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng alert level na classification ng isang lugar. Hindi lang po namin maisapubliko muna sa ngayon dahil ayaw po namin magkaroon ng confusion ang public because let us remember, we are piloting this implementation. So when you do a pilot, you study all of the factors, all of the components, at pag nakita natin na hindi nag-work yung component na yon, we can change that. So kapag pinalitan po namin yung iba dun sa metrics na ginagamit natin, mako-confuse po ang ating publiko. Kaya hindi po natin isinasa publiko.
Meanwhile, the Department of Trade and Industry will meet with gym owners in Metro Manila to discuss their appeal that will allow them to open as well. Janice and Hente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Metro Manila will be under COVID-19 Alert Level 4 with intensified granular lockdowns until September 30. This measure aims to contain the spread of COVID-19 in the National Capital Region. That's why this early, some health experts are asking the government if such alert level system could be implemented in other parts of the country. Rosa Licos will tell us why.
Special Advisor for the National Task Force Dr. Ted Herbosa is optimistic that the pilot implementation of the new alert level system in National Capital Region will yield to positive results. During an interview in Get It Straight with Daniel Razon, Dr. Herbosa said he hopes this will also be implemented in other areas.
Palagay ko pag nag-work ito by September 30, I think it can be gradually implemented sa Cebu, Metropolitan Cebu, Metropolitan Davao, yung isa pang other big contributors ng ating GDP para ma-allow natin yung economy mag-open at hopefully ma-allow na rin pati face-to-face classes doon sa mga lugar na yon.
However, he adds that massive vaccination drive should also be implemented in these regions. The Department of Health is open to the possibility of implementing alert level systems in provinces.
Kapag nakakita tayo ng positibong resulta dito sa ginagawang pilot implementation, we may be able to roll it out to the rest of the country at maybe towards the end of September.
However, Interior and Local Government Secretary Eduardo Año said in a text message that the Interagency Task Force will discuss and decide on the matter before the month ends. Malacanang, meanwhile, is confident that granular lockdowns will be a big factor in lowering COVID-19 cases as well as the hospital capacity in Metro Manila.
So, ang siyensya po dyan ay dahil alam naman natin kung nasaan yung mga kuta ng COVID-19 at siguro kapag yun ang sinaragdagan natin na wala talaga maglalabas-pasok kung hindi mga health professionals at saka yung mga OFWs, baka naman talaga makontain yung pagkalat, no? Dahil hindi na makakalabas doon sa lugar na kung saan marami sila, no?
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
4 countries have been classified under the red list of the Philippines. Inbound passengers from Grenada, Papua New Guinea, Serbia, and Slovenia are prohibited from entering the country regardless of their vaccination status. The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases also approved the revised list of yellow and green countries. 52 jurisdictions are included in the low-risk territories in which fully vaccinated individuals can avail of green lanes. These include Hong Kong, or Special Administrative Region of China, Taiwan, China, New Zealand, Sudan, Poland, Palau, North Korea, Nicaragua, Syria, and Yemen, among others. Other countries and jurisdictions not mentioned are on the yellow list or moderate risk. Inbound international travelers coming from these nations within the past 14 days prior to their arrival in the Philippines are mandated to observe the strict entry, testing, and quarantine protocols. This is regardless of their vaccination status. The Philippine Coast Guard continues to patrol the West Philippine Sea. This is to make sure our territorial waters are protected from foreign intrusions. PCG is also eyeing to recruit more personnel in the next 5 years. Ray Pelayo details why.
The presence of Chinese fishing vessels remain in the West Philippine Sea. This is despite our insistence that the area is within the Philippine territory. But Philippine Coast Guard Commandant Vice Admiral Leopoldo Laroya ensures that they will continue to monitor the area, especially the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone.
Meron pa konti-konti nilalapitan ng Coast Guard. We always maintain a constant patrol in the area, and when challenged, they sometimes challenge our challenge, but in the end they lead.
As part of strengthening the force, PCG continues to recruit more personnel. From around 7,000 in 2016, there are now around 20,600 strong men and women in the Corps. According to Laroya, the ideal number of personnel to cover the 36,000 kilometers of Philippine coastline should be 72,000. This year, PCG already recruited 4,000 and it aimed to enlist up to 36,000 in the next 5 years. Aside from securing the country, PCG also helps fight the COVID-19 by manning the ports and checkpoints and assisting repatriated OFWs. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Philippine Navy assets modernization faces delay due to the pandemic. Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana confirms that the funds allotted for the supposed acquisition of 2 corvetters or small warship and 6 offshore patrol vessels have been used for COVID-19 response.
So these are the big ticket items na naghihintay ng magkaroon ng pera, first pera. Of course, yung F-16 ay Philippine Air Force ang mamimili niyan. Samantalang yung Corvette naman sa kayong OPVC yung Navy.
The two modern corvettes are equipped with missiles and other high-tech weapons and sensors, while the 6 OPVs will be used in coastal area patrol and disaster relief operations. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio already confirmed that she will seek re-election in the 2022 polls. But the citizens' movement, Hugpong Para kay Sara, is still hopeful that the Lady Mayor will reconsider her decision. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Leaders of the citizens movement Hugpong Para kay Sara or HPS will continue to convince Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio to run for president in the 2022 elections. If this prospers, President Rodrigo Duterte might give up his plan to run for vice president.
Si Presidente, nakikinig sa taong bayan yan. Pero kung kakunti lang ang nagsasabi sa kanya, sasabihin niya, kayo lang naman pala, konti lang wala naman pala talagang, there's really no call for him to withdraw dahil kakunti lang ang members. Pero pag marami-rami na tayo, it gives us a bigger chance of convincing the President.
HPS Chairman and Hugpong ng Pagbabago Secretary General Anthony Del Rosario said they are hopeful that the presidential daughter will give in to the clamor for her to seek the highest position in the country.
Anything is still possible, di ba? Alam mo naman ng politics, anything can change overnight. And we believe if the President is convinced to reconsider his plans, then it's also possible that Mayor Sara might reconsider also her plans. Di ba?
Political analyst Ramon Casiple also believes that nothing is final yet until the deadline of the filing of certificate of candidacy in October.
Well, maniniwala ka actually that sino sa atin. Kung actual na nag-file, Kasi yung mga ganyang klaseng mga pronouncement, sinasabi mo, wala namang procedure na iyak, kung paano.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The word war between President Duterte and Senator Richard Gordon continues as the lawmaker hits back at the president during the 7th Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. While the president's former aide, Senator Christopher Bongo, defended the president anew before the committee. Meanwhile, Senator Gordon also revealed records showing the luxury vehicles of family officials which were registered after they bagged government contracts. Arlene Delgado will tell us why.
Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairperson Richard Gordon has slammed President Rodrigo Duterte for defending his cabinet members and the personalities involved in the inquiry. This includes former economic advisor Michael Yang and former Budget Undersecretary Lloyd Christopher Lau.
Kaya hindi sila makasagot. Ang tigasagot nila ngayon ay si Attorney Duterte. Nagkakabogado po si Attorney Duterte ngayon. Hindi na siya Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Hirap kayong tangkilikin, Mr. President, because you do not act like a president. Today, I tell you, you are not a president the Filipino people can respect. Patawarin niyo po ako. Nasabi ko tuloy, no country deserves that kind of leadership. No country deserves your leadership. I am really sorry for you, Mr. President. Ang pinagtatanggal niyo, si Lau, may utang na loob kayo dahil sa eleksyon. You are a cheap politician, Mr. President.
He also maintains that he is not using the investigation for political interests.
Wala akong ambisyon. Alam mo, hindi na ako tatakbo. Sa totoo lang Ayoko na Nakapagsilbi na po kami. Kaya huwag niyo akong pagsabihan na ako mamumuliti ka rito. Wala akong plano ngayon. Wala naman akong inaanunsyo. Kayo pa nagsabi, gusto ko mag-Vice President. Sino ba tumatakbo ang Vice President ngayon? Hindi ba kayo, Mr. President?
Former Special Assistant to the President and now Senator Christopher Bongo, for his part, defended the President, saying that the President has nothing to do with any government transactions.
Hindi po sila pinagtatakpan ng Pangulo. Wala po kaming pakialam. Alam nyo, yung pinagpipilitang Parmali na yan. Wala po kaming kinalaman ni Pangulong Duterte dyan. Yarihin niya na po. Kasuhan niya na po kung may kasalanan.
Meanwhile, Gordon also revealed the documents they have obtained from the Land Transportation Office showing the luxury cars of Pharmaly officials. Records show that some of the vehicles were registered after the company bagged government contracts for the medical supplies.
Suma total po, talagang nagpapasasa talaga itong mga taong ito. Di umano, lumalabas. Paano naman makikita ito? Mga bata pa ito.
Meanwhile, Senator Risa Hontiveros questioned the alleged irregularity in the procurement process. The senator presented to the committee a screenshot of a text message between her source, a former employee of the Department of Budget and Management Procurement Service, and Pharmaly official Crizel Mago. Hontiveros says the exchange confirms that Pharmaly made an advance delivery of 2 million pieces of surgical masks even before the company received its notice of award.
Super advanced delivery talaga ito. Bakit nyo inutos yun kay Ms. Mago?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko maalala may ganitong utos pero I'm checking my record. As per record, ang PO date namin ay April 15 at ang DR date ay April 16.
O it's either kayo or si Mr. Dargani ang nag-utos kay Ms. Mago o alam nga namang siya lamang ang nag-transact sa PSDBM ng 2 million. Lumabas sa text exchange, may boss siyang itinuturing.
The 8th hearing of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee has been set on September 21. Jorlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Health cannot yet include antigen tests results in the country's case count. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The Department of Health reiterated that there's a proper use of rapid antigen tests in the country. Under the DOH COVID-19 management protocol, close contacts of confirmed COVID-19 cases in areas with clustering or surge are subjected to this test. If the result is positive, there is no need to have a repeat reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction or RT-PCR or swab test. However, Health spokesperson Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere said the DOH cannot include results of antigen tests yet.
Some of the local governments use this for screening employees, screening those who are going to pictorials, screening those who are going to weddings. So, hindi po yan appropriate use ng antigen test. Kaya hindi po natin pwedeng tanggapin because this might lead to inaccurate reports of positive cases.
The DOH explains all submitted reports by LGUs are validated to assure accuracy of each result.
From the past run na ginawa natin na nag-submit sa atin, there was about 10,000 na reports reported antigen test positive na dumating sa atin. Kaya lang nung nilinis natin, mga 3,000 lang po talaga ang valid. Dahil po yung ibang mga local governments, they use it inappropriately. So tandaan po natin, kahit na pinapagamit po natin ngayon ng rapid antigen test, kailangan po appropriate pa rin ang gamit para hindi tayo magkakaroon ng questions on accuracy.
The DOH also said the official COVID-19 case count includes only the results of RT-PCR or swab and saliva specimen. Undersecretary Vergere also said that saliva test is considered as RT-PCR test. That is why it is included in the reporting. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Education said today it is ready to test a limited return of face-to-face classes and is just waiting for President Rodrigo Duterte's go signal. Meanwhile, DepEd has exceeded its expected target enrollees for the school year 2021 to 2022. As of September 17, 2021, over 27 million students have enrolled for the current school year. According to DepEd, they still expect an increase in the number as the enrollment deadline is September 30, 2021.
Ang magandang balita ay nalampasan natin ang enrollment last year. So, even with changed conditions, more challenges, nalampasan natin. Nagpapakita ito na sa ating kultura, mahalaga talagang edukasyon. At ang parents consider education as very important and crucial for the lives of their children.
The soft launch of the digital vaccine certificates in Metro Manila and Baguio City is going well. Because of this, the government is eyeing to expand the soft launch of the digital COVID-19 vaccination certificate to 4 more regions. JP Nunez explains why.
The government will soon launch the VaxCert PH, or the portal for the issuance of the digital vaccine certificate, in more regions. According to Department of the Interior and Local Government spokesperson Jonathan Malaya, the platform will soon open to residents in Regions 3, 4, Metro Cebu, and Davao. However, the system for the encoding of the data in the DICT's Vaccine Information Management System, or VIMS, still needs to be resolved.
Nakakasumiti naman yung mga LGUs natin ng kanilang mga datos, pero inaayos natin yung quality of the data, no? Kung minsan kasi may problema on data quality dahil kung minsan nagkakamali sa pag-encode yung ating mga encoders from the LGU level. So dahil merong pagkakamali, hindi na-degenerate or nagkakaroon ng error found. So ito yung inaayos natin, and once this is fully completed by the various local government units, pwede na po natin itong buksan.
The DILG cannot tell yet when the digital vaccination certificate will be launched nationwide, as they continue fix bugs on the system to avoid issues.
Antabayanan lang po muna ng ating mga kababayan, kasi nga right now we're fixing the bugs in the system dahil bago po itong sistema, and there are many moving parts, but we are working very hard to ensure na itong sistemang ito will be fully operational, and we can now go from soft launch to hard launch.
Launched last September 6, the VaxCert PH initially caters to overseas Filipino workers and foreign travelers in Metro Manila. The digital vaccine certificates will serve as proof of vaccination for Filipinos and non-Filipinos who plan to travel outside the country or return from overseas. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippines today recorded 20,336 additional COVID-19 cases, bringing the total tally of confirmed cases to 2,324,475. The Department of Health, or DOH, said the latest figure pushed the country's active cases to 188,108. Of these cases, 87.6% are mild, 8.1% are asymptomatic, 2.49% are moderate, 1.3% are severe, and 0.6% are in critical condition. 4 accredited testing laboratories failed to submit data on time. Meanwhile, the total number of recoveries rose to 2,100,039 after 10,028 more patients recovered from the disease. Deaths related to COVID-19 also climbed to 36,328, with 310 new fatalities. Meanwhile, the overall global COVID-19 caseload has reached to 227,118,472, while the deaths have surged to 4,671,547, according to the Johns Hopkins University. The U.S. is still the worst-hit country, with the world's highest number of cases and deaths at 41,788,118 and 670,027, respectively, according to the CSSE, followed by India and Brazil. The Department of Health reiterates that the use of Ivermectin for COVID-19 patients is still not recommended in the country, but some lawmakers continue to appeal for its use against the deadly virus. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why live. Yes, Asher.
Arlene Anak Kalusugan Party List Representative Mike Defensor and House Deputy Speaker Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta believe that although the medicine is intended to use for animals, other countries have proven its effective result. In an interview, Congressman Marcoleta further explains that more and more health experts can be seen in the internet attesting to the efficacy of the anti-parasitic drug. The lawmaker further explains that one of the challenges they face in campaigning for its use in the country are the big pharmaceutical companies. Marcoleta explains that this is because once Ivermectin is approved, it will be very cheap than other medicine against COVID-19 infection.
Naintindihan natin na umalma yung Big Pharma kasi marami na silang pinuhunan. Kapag ka pumasok ang Ivermectin, maring makompromise yung kanilang pinuhunan at baka hindi nila kitain uli yun.
The same lawmakers filed a petition for mandamus in the Supreme Court to oblige the Department of Health and Food and Drug Administration to issue a certificate of product registration for the use of ivermectin as a cure to COVID-19. The Department of Health, on the other hand, reiterates in a press briefing today that there is not enough scientific evidence to say that ivermectin can help cure COVID-19. It will also need to undergo clinical trials and study before it can be declared safe for human consumption. With this, the DOH still does not recommend its use for COVID-19 treatment.
While the DOH is not against the use of investigational drugs, we emphasize that in using products under investigation, the safety of every Filipino should take utmost precedence. We must always put safety of Filipinos first before showing the use of medicines in the country.
Arlene, the DOH meanwhile confirms that there's still no medicine in the country that may be used to cure COVID-19 patients. In the meantime, the best way to protect oneself is to keep being healthy, continue practicing the minimum health standards, and get vaccinated. Arlene?
Thank you, Asher Kadapan Jr. reporting live.
The Department of Health warns the Commission on Elections in allowing COVID-19 patients to vote in person in the May 2022 elections. Dante Amento will tell us why.
The Department of Health is not keen in allowing COVID-19 positive individuals to vote in the 2022 elections. DOH spokesperson Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere said this will only cause transmission and infection.
But kailangan din isa-isip. Dapat may alternative tayo for those who are COVID positive para po sa botohan na ito. Alam po natin na isang positibong tao kapag lumabas po ng kanilang kwarto o ng kanilang lugar ay maaari pong makahawa ng ibang tao.
DOH then urges COMELEC to have come up with alternative way such as online voting for those who have contracted the virus.
So sana po COMELEC will have an alternative way of having these elections for those COVID positive patients. Baka pwede naman pong virtual na lang, digital, through SMS, kung makakagawa po tayo ng ganitong proseso, dahil talagang ang Department of Health po ay hindi po natin inirekomenda na ang mga COVID positive patients ay lalabas po ng kanilang isolation area to do this kind of activities because this might have some form of transmission and infect other people.
Meanwhile, COMELEC spokesperson Director James Jimenez says they welcome the DOH proposal but alternative voting is allegedly prohibited by the law. Jimenez has assured to discuss with the Bank how to allow the COVID-19 positive to cast votes as part of their rights.
But as for the rest, again, in all seriousness, I was just joking earlier, but in all seriousness, we are finding ways to make that happen for them. Ang challenge talaga natin dyan kasi is yung mga COVID positive natin, they're not all in one place kasi. You know, they're quarantined at home, they're quarantined elsewhere. So medyo challenge yan logistically. No, but we are working on it. We will update you on the progress.
The COMELEC also clarified that there are still no guidelines that allow COVID-19 positive to vote in person in polling centers. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, the Central Jakarta District Court ruled Thursday that Indonesian President Joko Widodo and 6 other officials are guilty of environmental negligence. Annie Mancilia details why live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Kath. The court ruled that Indonesian President Joko Widodo and 3 of his cabinet ministers, as well as the governors of Jakarta, Banten, and West Java, had neglected to fulfill citizens' rights to clean air and ordered them to improve the poor air quality in Jakarta. 32 plaintiffs filed a civil lawsuit in 2019, citing that the government must take action against severe air pollution in the country's capital. But the verdict has been delayed several times due to the pandemic and because more time was needed to review the case. The judge's ruling obliges President Widodo to establish a national ambient air quality standards to protect human health. They also ordered the health minister and Jakarta's governors to devise strategies to control air pollution. Studies found that Indonesia had the highest number of premature deaths associated with air pollution. Indonesia's capital experienced the worst air quality of any major city in the world in 2019 when the lawsuit was initially filed. Meanwhile, Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan said his administration would not appeal and was ready to implement the ruling for a better air. Kath?
Annie, what does the Indonesian president have to say about the court's ruling?
Kath, President Joko Widodo did not comment on this himself, but Fajrul Rahman, the presidential spokesperson, said that decisions regarding any further steps to tackle air pollution would fall on the environment minister. Kath?
Thank you, Annie Mancilia, for that live report. Yesterday marked the 27th International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer, a reminder that of what we can achieve if every country in the world works together. Nerissa Dando will tell us why.
September 16 was observed as the World Ozone Day. This is in commemoration of the signing of the Montreal Protocol in 1987, which is considered the world's most successful environmental treaty joined by every country to protect the ozone layer and help reduce the speed of climate change. The ozone layer is a protective layer on the atmosphere which shields us from harmful UV rays. But this layer has been depleted over the years. According to the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, an environmental achievement worth celebrating is that the ozone layer is healing and on the road to recovery. Moreover, in a study published in the Nature journal, if the 1987 protocol was not implemented, it would lead to additional global warming and ozone layer collapse. However, according to Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service Director Vincent Henry Puech, the ozone hole, which forms over the South Pole every year, grew by 75% and is now larger than Antarctica. Thus, this requires special attention, ease, and further cooperation should be done for a complete recovery of the ozone layer. Through the Kigali Amendment, the next goal is to phase down hydrofluorocarbons or HFCs. HFCs do not contribute to ozone depletion, but are considered climate pollutants and causes climate change. This will provide more benefits and will potentially avoid up to 0.4 degrees of global temperature rise by the end of the century. Nerissa Dando, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A sudden increase in retail sales in the United States was revealed in August. Maeve and Dog details why live. Maeve?
Kath, the surge in retail sales last month was reportedly boosted by U.S. government's child tax credit payments and students' back-to-school shopping after a year of online schooling, the Commerce Department reported. August's retail sales increase is contrary to July, where revised data reports revealed that nationwide sales has experienced a 1.8% decline, originally recorded as 1.1%. This decline was expected to follow in later months due to influx of Delta variant infections across the country. However, no significant impacts were seen in retail sales, says FHN Financial Chief Economist Chris Lowe. Overall, U.S. retail sales are performing better now compared to last year's pandemic period. This positive trend reflects into online retail sites, where sales rebounded with a 5.3% increase after a 4.6% decline in July. But specific to auto dealerships, sales continue to drop. With the global shortages of microchips, a 3.6% decline in sales continue. While electronics and appliance stores also continue to suffer a 3.1% decline due to congestion at ports in China causing delays in supplies. Kath?
Thank you, Maven Dog reporting live.
The government in Thailand has approved a new visa package for foreigners for them to potentially stay in the country for at least 10 years. The visa is said to target over 1 million eligible people, including rich expats, digital nomads, highly skilled professionals, as well as wealthy pensioners, according to the National Economic and Social Development Council, or NESDC. This package would not just benefit those who are approved, but also their spouses and children. NESDC also mentioned that these measures will increase the country's local investment by 800 billion baht and generate 270 billion baht in tax collection. The visa package also hopes to improve Thailand's economic situation. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kat Tumaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. Good evening.
Breakthrough and Milestones Production International, or BMPI, launched its own music publishing house today, the KDR Music House. Here, BMPI will showcase the freshest voices in the local music scene, catchy tunes, and a great deal of storytelling. And to celebrate this milestone, KDR Music House released an 11-track album titled Loving You, which is co-produced by musical director Adonis Tabanda. The album is now available on music streaming platform Spotify. The album Loving You is composed of tracks interpreted by BMPI's homegrown talent, The Wishfuls, Princess Sevillana, Carmi Ariola, Ace Bartolome, Kimberly Baluzo, Louie Ann Kulala, and Rhea Basco. KDR Music House's album also showcases 15-year-old singing star Alicia Pontanares, four-piece ensemble Splendio Tritus, singer-songwriter Jerns Kalina, and George Normandia. The KDR Music House will serve as a bridge between artists and music lovers. The music publishing house will continue to find ways to reach more people with new technologies and bring them music they would love to hear. And before we close, we will leave you with a final word, giving glory to God. From the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 11, it says, "For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." And those are the reasons behind the news, September 17, 2021. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Herlene Delgado.
Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Angelo Castro III. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Hirap kayong tangkilikin, Mr. President, because you do not act like a president. Today, I tell you, you are not a president the Filipino people can respect. Patawarin niyo po ako. Nasabi ko tuloy, no country deserves that kind of leadership. I am really sorry for you, Mr. President. Ang pinagtatanggal niyo, silaw, may utang na loob kayo dahil sa eleksyon. You are a cheap politician, Mr. President.